All right, we're here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Of course, you know, this is Choctaw Music Awards week,
That's right.
otherwise known as Homecoming.
Yes, we're excited.
We had a parade on Tuesday.
Yep, it was awesome, as always.
You know, we had some good things going on. Doors decorated, people dressing up. Absolute craziness going on this week. It's a lot of fun. Excited about this game Thursday night.
Got to cross 23rd Street.
We did.
Yes, it's a big deal.
We used to do that.
I know.
And we used to be like, get PE credit for doing the parade.
Oh.
Because we go all the way from Choctaw Middle School to Choctaw High School. And if you're not in shape, let me tell you.
Yeah, especially a little bit of heat we've had this week too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that was great. And of course, we got a Thursday night game, which I'm really excited about because we get to be back at home.
Right.
And we're gonna play this football game, and we're gonna have the band, and we're gonna have the ROTC, and we're gonna have the cheerleaders, and we're gonna get back to doing what Choctaw does best.
That's right.
Be Choctaw, man.
Yeah, we're excited to get everybody gathered again, and kind of get rolling. And as you mentioned, Thursday night game a little bit different, but again, excited for home game, excited for homecoming. Kind of the story behind that is OSA's asked every school to take a home game and move it to a Thursday with a shortage of officials. And so that just happens to be our Thursday game.
And that's a good thing to do.
Yes, it is.
Because again, we can have the best players, the best coaches, but without officials,
can't do it without them.
We need them.
Absolutely, and those guys do a great job. They're kind of the unsung heroes of normal prep sports, and they take a lot of grief, but those guys do a good job. They prepare for the games just like the coaches and players do, and want to put their best foot forward. And I appreciate how much they invest in our kids.
And the main job, other than throwing flags, the main job is actually the safety of the players.
Right, absolutely.
And so we really rely on those guys to stop the play,
right,
and to keep our kids safe.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do a great job.
Before we get on to tonight, let's talk about that big victory against Putnam North.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm enjoying every time I see these boys on the field.
Good.
They are fun to watch. They're exciting. I'll let you do the player of the game first in a second here. I got my offensive player of the game. It wasn't hard to add up the stats.
No,
but I'll let you talk about it first. Who was the player of the game?
Yeah,
offense.
Offensively, I'm sure we're probably both on the same page. It's pretty easy. It was Juju Smith on offense. Scored almost every way that you could score the ball. Didn't throw one in, but returned to kickoff. Caught one, ran one. Almost had 100 yards rushing and over 100 yards receiving. So it was a pretty big night for him. Yeah,
that was impressive. He's fun to watch.
Yes,
he's not the
electric player.
Only one fun to watch. I'm still enjoying the line.
Yep.
I'm going to have to give this one to Juju, but the line is just very athletic this year.
Absolutely.
And they're running all over the places. They're getting blocks outside the first layer.
Right.
And that's something hard to do. People that don't know anything about the line, but when they go from the defensive line. And they are actually making blocks on either safeties or linebackers, that they're going to that next level. That next level just makes it not easier for the running backs to make some.
Well, it absolutely does. I mean, we talk about being a program built on effort, and that's a non-negotiable with our line. And this group, just loves to fly around and go make plays on, as you mentioned, second and third level blocks, which are linebackers and secondary, and those guys do a good job getting downfield. They have to be in really good shape. And they're really athletic, as you mentioned, and do a fantastic job.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, my philosophy this year is if the offense makes a mistake, the defense puts the offense in position where they can be risky, they can make mistakes, and they'll handle business.
Well, high school football, is kind of interesting to say the least, as a career path, because, like 1 year you'll feel really good about, hey, we got everybody returning on this side of the ball, then those guys leave, and then the next year it's like, okay, you feel good about the other side of the ball, and then, so you always know that you're kind of, very rarely do you have, experience on both sides, and as you mentioned, defense has a lot more experience this year than the offense is doing a fantastic job. Offense is getting it rolling, but it's always kind of interesting how that works. That dichotomy of bouncing that back and forth. And our defense, as you mentioned, has played lights out all season. Coach Clark and the defensive staff did a fantastic job. Got a lot of veteran players, really, really smart players, really good athletes. You know, and as you mentioned, they make the offense's life a little bit easier because, as you mentioned, you can take more risks and don't have to be as perfect.
Okay. Who is the defensive player?
We had a co. So we had a
co
defensive players of the week. And so the first was Braven McConnell. He just continues to make play after play, had a huge night, just relentless pursuit of the football, a couple sacks, getting after the QB, a bunch of tackles downfield, just keeps doing a great job. And the second was Will Smith.
Okay.
Also, you know, coming off the edge, you know, being really electric. And, you know, Will just has been – just so relentless in his pursuit of the football, and just really done a good job. And his motor just continues to run. And so we had co-defensive players of the week.
Okay. That makes I couldn't even pick one.
No, I was interested to see who yours was.
Well, because I said Braven a lot.
Yep.
I said Marcus McGrew a lot.
Marcus always a good choice.
And Will Smith a lot. And so it's just a good combination of, and then of course the defensive backs. There's nobody open.
Right. And that's kind of it. I mean, the guys that, you know, playing corner is kind of a lonely position. You know, you don't really get noticed unless you get an interception or have a pass interference called against you. You know, but Dejon Green, Austin Hubert had guys locked up all night. Jamar.
We're back.
Short break, and we're back.
But
our sponsors.
So just to comment on what you said is, like, you know, one of the greatest defensive backs of all time, Deion Sanders.
Right. Yep. Also a pretty good coach, it turns out.
Well, Oregon might disagree, but yes, I think he is. But some of his best games, his stat sheet was 0-0-0-0.
Right.
They just didn't throw against him.
Right.
And so that's, you know, kind of my point is I'm looking at these guys. I'm looking at the back end. And the front end isn't giving the quarterback any time. And the back end, well, they're just doing their job. And, you know, if you never hear a defensive back's name, he's probably doing an excellent job because that guy's locked down.
Yep, absolutely. It's kind of a thankless position in a lot of ways, and our guys do a fantastic job.
And so I don't want to leave out your other guys. We got practice players of the game. We got special team players of the game. Talk about those real quick if you could.
Yeah, special teams player of the week was Easton Till. Easton also, you know, he'll deep snap for us. He had a huge block on that kickoff return spring. Juju, and just kind of a guy that, you know, jack of all trades, you know, plays obviously, you know, captain of the defense, gets everybody lined up, does everything the right way. Just always has a ton of effort, you know, and does a lot of things that don't get seen if you don't, you know what you're looking at and pay attention to film, and, you know, did a fantastic job. And in practice player of the week, we had a young buck. So we had a freshman, Asa Bartlow, which is going to be a future star. He's come up and run scout team for us, ran our attack teams, and has done a really good job. You know, and subsequently you're seeing him show out on Monday nights. You know, he's making plays in the 9th grade game, making plays in the JV game. Obviously that transitions to practice. He's making plays in practice, and, you know, and gets noticed. And so that was our attack team player of the week.
Okay, that's good stuff.
Yes,
that's
good
stuff.
Exciting.
I've been asked by many people, and I couldn't answer. What is the juice box of the week? Is the 100% juice of the week?
Yeah, so we you know, we like having our sidelines, you know, excited. You know, I want to try to always create that excitement. So just want to honor kids that, you know, we feel like have good attitudes every day. You know, come to practice every single day, and, you know, are always in a good mood. Always always an energy giver. You know, not an energy taker, someone that's, you know, excited about playing football, and just a good teammate. And so, you know, we nominate a Juice of the Week guy, and they'll get the towel on the sidelines and all those kind of things. And, you know, Coach Anthony, our offensive line coach, run game coordinator, just does such a good job with the graphics. You know, and the kids just love it. So if you haven't got to see those graphics, they're unbelievable. I mean, I think he's literally the best in the country, or that I've seen on it.
They're really good.
Unbelievable.
And
how good they are. So we nominate those guys, and then they kind of keep everyone going on the sidelines. A lot of times those guys are in there playing. Sometimes they're not. So just when basically, you know, we talk about adding value all the time. You know, whatever your role is, if I'm the starting quarterback, or if I'm, you know, on the sidelines, like whatever that is, like how can I contribute? How can I help?
Okay, and I like that. Because you know, even if you don't get in the game, you still have
a role. Absolutely,
you're still player coaches.
I mean, we've all been there. We've all played sports. You've all been, you know, maybe if you're out there, you know, watching it in a work environment, and there's just someone that you just enjoy being around. You know, you want to go talk to them. They're not negative. That you enjoy being around them, and so we like to try to reward those guys and try to just cultivate more of that on the team. And we feel like we have a lot of it, and so it's pretty easy to choose each week because we have a lot of choices to go with. But just continue that good camaraderie, that good, what we call good juice, you know, every week, and, you know, guys are excited to be there.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw one of the captains, Will Smith, with a WWE belt.
Well, it's probably Marcus.
It was Marcus?
Yeah,
okay, Marcus.
So the previous week's Defensive Player of the Week gets the Havoc Belt.
The Havoc Belt,
yeah,
okay.
Havoc
Okay.
Defense Belt. So that's a little custom made. It is like a WWE belt, and so they get it. They get it in their practice. They get it, to walk out on the field and run out of the tunnel and all that kind of stuff from the previous week. So, we won't cut it in half on a but
that's good
but we'll just let one of them wear tonight, this Thursday. So, but yeah, that's the Havoc Belt Defense Player of the Week.
I don't think Elmer's is going to help that.
No, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's like pretty heavy duty.
I wanted to get that all the way just so people at home know what's going on.
What's going on. That's it. That's
So-
all the things that we got. So,
But I love all the things because the
Absolutely.
things help you get through week to week grind. Because sometimes it gets to be a grind.
we want to be able to showcase people, and we try to showcase them after practice, and and be able to honor. There's so much negative. I feel like just in life that it's like we have so much positive. We want to try to showcase that with the kids.
Yeah.
And obviously, reward what you want to see.
Okay. No, I'm loving it. And, every year, even though you've been doing this for a while, I've been doing this for a while. Every year, you got to stay fresh. You got to be new.
We're always adding. We're always trying to evaluate. Always trying to just different ways to try to improve. And I feel like you're always trying to do that in life. Is just how can you continue. If you think you're at 99, how can I get to 100?
Right.
All the time. So little details.
Well, and at the end of the day, there's only one team in 6A2 that's going to walk away with the gold. So, there's a lot of good teams.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a lot of little details that add up. As you mentioned and kind of alluded to, and so it's like, the better that we could do that, and shore up those small details, the better chances that we have, and ultimately you're just trying to be the best version of yourself and trying to get. Maximize your team, each year, and so we have a little ways to go, but I love our locker room, love our guys in our locker room, and they do a fantastic job, and just look forward to just those small improvements throughout the year.
Okay. All right, let's transition, and I know you don't want to look past the team, which I respect.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's a number 2 or somebody that's 10, 11, or 12 in the conference. You still got to prep.
Right, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about this Capitol Hill, and I know that Capitol Hill is, they're always looking to get better. They're always looking for the next thing, and I know that their coaches really care about their players.
Absolutely.
And every single player that's out for that team is a leader and is passionate about football, and they are going out every single Friday or Thursday.
Right.
And they're trying to get a W. So
Absolutely.
how do you prepare for this particular team?
Yeah, I mean, again, Capitol Hill will present its own problems. Coach Sizemore and his staff do a fantastic job, and as you mentioned, I always look at it put myself in their shoes, or try to, I tell our team, put yourself in their shoes, and I got so much respect for those guys that just continually go out for football and show up every day to practice and show up for games, which a lot of times haven't had just a ton of success in the past, but I'm like, to me that's toughness. That's, as you mentioned, that's leadership. That's a lot of great qualities in a human being. Being a champion is like, you don't, the result is very uncertain, and a lot of times not what you want, but you just continually show up. And our theme this year in the team is in the arena, and those guys continue just to jump down in the arena every Thursday or Friday night, regardless of outcome. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Sizemore and his staff with those guys, and ultimately, like every opponent, that doesn't make great bulletin board material, but it's really what we talk about internally is like, it's really not about who we're playing. It's always about us, like you're trying to get better. I mean, that's the name of this game. And I feel like, throughout our program, we've done a pretty good job of doing that each and every year, playing our best football at the end of the year. And that's what you're trying to get to. So I just want, this will be our 3rd full game. Right. God willing. And I want to see just vast improvements from 1 to 2 to 3, and then we'll continue to 4 to 5 to 6 as we go. And so, regardless of outcomes, we have to get better. We know that we're not where we need to be, but I feel like, we have the pieces to get there, and our kids feel like they have the pieces to get there. So we just want to show just vast improvements from, game 1 to game 2, now to game 3, and, keep everybody healthy, obviously, but we want to just continue to, operate more efficiently on offense. We want to tackle better on defense. We want to be able to use special teams as a weapon and make plays there. So just continue to improve each and every week. If you do that, you have a pretty good chance of, standing where you want to stand at the end of the year.
Okay. I mean, I think you said a mouthful. I'm looking forward to, and this is probably the last thing, what I like about our program where it is right now. Titus Hawk, the freshman quarterback, got in, awesome. And I remember Steele Wassel when he first got in. I remember when our 2 quarterbacks right now,
Right.
When they got in, none of them did outstanding on a Friday night, but then you could see their growth.
Right.
And you can't grow without being planted, and I
Right.
really appreciate that about the program. And of course, a quarterback is always highlighted because it's
Sure.
easy to see. But I see receivers, I see linemen,
Right.
I see people all over the place getting those opportunities early on. And I think that speaks a lot to the depth that you're developing. And I'm excited about next year's team. I'm excited about the team
Right.
going forward. I know we're not going to talk about next year's team,
Right.
but I'm just excited about seeing those elements and your coaches finding opportunities to put those people in positions to get experience and be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, are you trying to build a great team or a great program? You
Right.
know, and it's like we always want to be a great program, not just a great team. You know, we don't want to just win just this year. You know, we want to win, 20 years down the road. When I'm dead and gone, I want Choctaw football to continue to roll, and be a powerhouse longer after I'm gone. And that to me is like, the mark of a great program, is are you setting that forward? And so, we talk about all the time in our meetings, who's your starter, who's your emergency if that guy goes out, and then who are you developing for the future? At that spot. And so,
Right.
like, I don't want to wake up like Groundhog Day every year and go, hey, who's what?
Right,
You
right.
start playing years in advance on who you see those guys in. And it is nice to be able to reward those guys. Sometimes I have to take a step back. Obviously, I've been here. This is my 7th year here. And in 2017, that was Choctaw's first time ever beat PC North.
Right,
In
right.
2017. And then on Friday night, and I got to step back a little bit, because, with the scores 47-3 or whatever, and like, I'm upset because I know we didn't play real well, and it's like you kind of have to put stuff in a little bit of perspective sometimes too to kind of see, where the program's going. But, we ask our kids all the time, like, do we have permission to coach you hard? To coach you to your ability, to coach you where you want to be, and they want to be coached hard, and they know that we didn't play our best, although, we played well enough, but, that's not to our standard all the time. And so you're trying to just continually raise that bar once you get there, then raise it again, raise it a little bit more. And I'm proud of our guys on Monday night. This last Monday, obviously freshmen in JV, post victories, JV's gone undefeated, 2 years in a row. Not a whole lot of losing going around in the program. And, and as you mentioned, you're just trying to build that depth and continue when those guys, those Monday night guys become Friday night guys really fast.
Right, right.
And you're trying to gain that experience. And, to circle back to your original point is, you can practice it all you want, but you got to get out there and do it,
Right.
And so you're trying to, you can simulate game reps, but you need to be in a game. And so it's nice to be able to put those guys in there, and start trying to look at, maybe who is, a couple years down the road guys.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing some
Homecoming in
guys.
Choctaw is really cool. If you haven't
really
been,
is, yeah.
it's really, really special place. It's a big, small town, and all the new, if I ever get a new coach or someone new to the program, it's like, guys, just when you see the parade on Tuesday and homecoming, it's just really, really cool. It's very special.
And it's been a fun week so far.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Let's just play this game, and then I'll see you next week. Until then, stay classy, Choctaw.